Well, as that train pulled out and got on down the road a little bit, as I said, I was sad, sad, sad. But I don't imagine I was any sadder or any more lonesome than a lot of other folks. It's a sobering thing to leave everything and go off away in the Army. You can call it going off to war if you want to, but if you got to go away from your family and you don't know if and when you're coming back, it's a sad time, a lonesome time. But you know what? I think there was a lot of lonesome people on there. There were veterans like Sergeant Sullivan, Scott Diefenbaugh, Eggleston, Lieutenants Odd and Tessman, and of course Major Ross. The nurses, I'd never met those nurses. I don't know if they were assigned to us. I don't know if they left with us. They may have been assigned to us after we got out yonder. But if they were there, but they were lonesome. But I don't remember seeing the ladies on the train, but I wasn't looking around for ladies, that's for sure. And maybe the most lonesome of all might have been the kids. You know, a number of people, I think, decided to, wait a minute. George Ross in charge, and it's a local unit, and this is a war. Kids may have to go. Be good to have them go with somebody we know and trust. And anybody that knew Dr. George Ross, Major Ross, knew that here was a man with a good heart. A man you could count on to do the right thing. A man as country as could be, but as smart as a fox. Knew how to work the systems. And there were quite a number of those kids. Good kids. But, you know, just young kids. No military background at all. No, they were rank beginners as soldiers. Well, I remember dozing off. And, you know, I can't remember. I don't think we had sleeping berths. But whether it was in the chair or in the berth, I don't know. But I think a chair. I woke to something, you know, flashing over there. And I look out, and we're having, off to the right, which if we were going west would be to the north, there was a storm brewing. Wasn't raining. Up close, looked like maybe, when I looked out, it looked like maybe it was raining way out there somewhere. But, man, it's strange looking country. When that lightning would flash, we were out in the desert. I suppose New Mexico or Arizona. And oddly enough, when I got looking at that and where the storm was and looked on the other side, hey, it's moonlight over there. And again, boy, look at that. That's a strange desert-looking scene. You couldn't grow anything out there. That'd be the kind of country my dad would say that God surely must have forgot. He said that about the land out where my mother had lived around Fairview, Oklahoma, with those hills out there. He thought, when we went out to visit family one time, he shook his head and he said, it surely must be the country that God forgot. You couldn't grow any wheat on it. It wasn't worth having. Well, sometime the next day we got to Los Angeles, big city, and we had a layover, and the major said, you guys, we're going to be here, I've forgotten, a couple hours, I think. You can go out and walk around a little bit, but just be back here, and he named the time. So I don't know how we ended up in little groups, but I ended up with 3 or 4 other guys, and we just went out and walked and seeing the sights. There was lots of the city to see, and lots of pretty girls going by, and wow, you never saw so many cars in your life with such big, busy streets. Those big, busy streets just about did me in. When we were headed back, we were, stopped. Light-controlled intersection. The green light switches. The yellow light obviously has come on from the other direction, and cars are stopping. It looks like everything's all right, and I made a serious error in judgment. I stepped off of the curb. I'm not going to kid you. That car was within a foot of me, and hey, Rube, You're not in the country anymore. You're not in small town America. You better watch your step. Well, we got back on that train, and it didn't seem to me, looking back from this long-range viewpoint, that it took very long. We were in San Francisco. Before we got there, it was an eye-opener. Man, we went over a railroad bridge over a big bay of water. And then you look out up there and you begin to see that, hey, there is San Francisco. And didn't seem very long at all after we were on the San Francisco Island. So we're at the Presidio, which really we just were in town and in town and in town, and all of a sudden we go through a gate and there's a huge hospital, and we don't go, I don't think, another mile, maybe a mile and a half. They dip down and we're back looking at the ocean again. Dip around a little bit more and stop in front of a rather small building. I don't know what I expected, but I think in the back of my mind I expected us to be mixed in some big barracks like I'd been in before. But this was a rather small building. It had obviously been reopened just as this Korean War was getting cranked up. And just us, just the 325th was in there. That's nice. That's really nice. Well, we were just getting squared away. I don't remember if they brought the bedding over or if we all had to go get in a line like I was used to doing to check it out. But we were making up our beds, and some of the guys had already hit the shower. Tom Woods was down there 3 or 4 rows, and he said, "Man, isn't that neat that we're in an outfit that you don't have to worry about anybody stealing your stuff?" So he's taking out his wallet and his watch and lays these things on his bed and heads for the shower. Well, being a good buddy and an Army kid, I go down and pick up his wallet, maybe his watch over around it. I can't remember. I just went up and tucked it in somebody else's bed, knowing right where it was. And we all waited to see what Tom would say when he got back. And what he said was, "Hey, you guys, who did it?" He wasn't worried. He knew it was a joke. And Tom and I remained the best of friends. We made a second trip this last summer, second successive years that we were back and saw he and Peg back in Indianapolis. And we'll be going back again if health permits. They're great, great people.